You know, all these crazy Saints Row games have come out over the past decade. We've played with questionable bats, superpowers, the devil himself, and now we're getting ready to experience dorm life as we fight the battle that is student loans. But at the end of a long day when we want to relax, it might not be those games that we play. No. My name is Starsense and this is Saints Row 2. Oh yes. Whenever I hear someone mention this game, I get so excited. Quick backstory. Saints Row 2 was released in 2008 as a huge follow-up to the first in the series. Everything was bigger and better. Volition made effort to give the game its own identity. They didn't want to just be a GTA clone. They wanted to be the superior sandbox title, and they succeeded. When I think of why Saints Row 2 is so fucking good... Wait, how far are we into the video? Can I say fucking yet? When I think of why Saints Row 2 is so fucking good, a few things stand out the most. The story, characters, world, and the story. I say that twice? Yeah, let me say it again. The story! Dude, Saints Row 2 has not only one of the best stories in a video game, but one of the best stories, period. Your average Netflix drama wishes it could amount to the intensity that these characters deliver. This isn't just a game you play. It's something you experience, which is why I need to talk about how great it is.
I'm back to remind every motherfucker what color this city bleeds.
It all starts 5 years after the first Saints Row. You know, after we got blown the hell up.
How's the patient?
Seeing as they're still breathing after being caught in a massive explosion, I'd say pretty good.
We've been in a coma ever since, and oh my god, you can have a vagina. Okay, not really, but you can play a girl this time around. Sick. The in-depth customization is back and it still stands a test of time. Though, I'm not the biggest fan of the character model and animations, but I can't deny that the creator is spot on. You can put logos on shirts, select patterns, add clothing layers, and there's a bunch of accessories. Hell, we even have low-rise. Can we bring back low-rise fashion already? I'm so over this high-waisted hipster bullshit. You can even pick a voice?
Can't win them all, unless you're me.
Oh shit, we talk now. So the playa, or now the boss, has been turned into a full-fledged character. An absolutely amazing character. The boss was mostly silent in SR1, so seeing their personality can be a little shocking. You don't necessarily play the good guy. You play a deranged psychopath, but an awesome psychopath who can still have a damn good time. I just love how crazy this character becomes, and there's times when it's difficult to tell if you're the villain or not. But what isn't difficult to tell is the loyalty you have for your crew. While the boss couldn't care less about the lives of your foe, she does have a human side that you get to see throughout the game, and it adds so much depth to the character. Alright, all done. The boss is pantsless. I don't know why. So once we're done making our new boss, we wake up from a coma while in a hospital that's in a prison that's on an island. Oof. Our new pal Carlos helps bust us out.
I know a way out.
Yeah? Then why are you still here?
And this is our tutorial. Yeah, the tutorial is a freaking prison break. It seamlessly teaches you how to play the game one step at a time. And if you skip it, it just gives you a different and faster route. Like, are you seeing the level of detail here? Because this is only the first mission. As you work your way through the tutorial, you'll learn the basics of movement and combat, which isn't too special. It's kind of slow-paced and a little jank, but still really fun at times. Also has its perks, like picking up random objects around the world to bash skulls in, as well as a good assortment of weapons that can be unlocked. You'll get a good feel for the combat by the time you reach the boat. From there, we're brought to the world of Saints Row 2, Stillwater. And just look at this place. Where do I even start? Stillwater is an art piece. Stillwater should be printed out and put in museums to be studied by artists for centuries. I'm dead serious. If you're interested in game design, or you just enjoy open world cities, then you need to experience this map. There's so much personality here, and every inch of the city is crammed with detail. It feels so much like an actual city. I find new things whenever I play, which is no surprise with 22 districts, underground caverns, hidden islands, and a ton of unique interiors. We've got gas stations, record stores, clubs, offices, a big mall. Yeah, there's a fucking mall in Saints Row 2. Some people might assume that reusing the Saints Row 1 map would be a downside, but I kinda like that. It's so much fun to compare the differences and see how this place has changed. Buildings have been rebuilt or finished, districts completely redone. They made it feel like you really spent 5 years in a coma. Also, look at the life in these places. There are NPCs everywhere, and they heavily contribute to why this city feels so alive. Their AI isn't groundbreaking, but their design is. They all come with unique traits, dialogue, and appearances. I guarantee if you stand still somewhere, you'll start seeing the randomness. Look at this. Look at this shit. So fucking cool. My only complaint here is the graphical aesthetic. Wait. There. This is what it normally looks like. It has that brown and blue, or gray in this case, look that a ton of games in the 2000s were doing. I'm not a fan, but it's super easy to modify on PC. Just a few tweaks is all it takes to really bring out the beauty in this game, and damn. This game came out in 2008 and is more appealing to me than most games released today. And the liveliness of the world doesn't stop there. The radio that plays while driving is another big part of it. I've even listened to these stations while I'm driving my real car. The soundtrack is like the perfect mix of everything 2000s. Actually, I don't think there's a single station I dislike, but my favorite's gotta be Gen X. Besides, it's not just the excellent soundtrack, but the commercials that pump so much life in.
Our boys will get up in your chassis and take care of it. Everything's better with rim jobs.
You'll hear characters you know and characters you haven't encountered yet.
Swing by Rusty's and get your own Feed Dogs tattoo.
Reason to shop at Rusty's Needle number 31, the Feed Dogs.
It'll even change based on what happens throughout the game. Definitely my favorite part about driving. The vehicle physics, on the other hand, aren't a main selling point of SR2. I would describe the vehicles in this game as usable. The map is designed well for driving, with a bunch of races and terrain to stun off of. It's fun to find a new set of wheels, tweak it with a whole bunch of options, and then take it for a joyride. Same style, of course. There we go. I wasn't gonna show up to Gat's trial in a beater. Yeah, about that. Carlos tells us the Saints are no more.
Where can I find the other Saints?
What other Saints?
What you talking about?
Without anyone to lead them, the Saints fell apart.
So it's our job to fix that. We obviously need the help of the iconic Johnny Gat, so we're off to get him out of his death sentence for 300 plus murders-ish.
Mr. Gat, you've been convicted of over 300 murders. Do you really expect this appeal to work?
I figure with the statute of limitations, it really should be closer to 250.
Don't be surprised, it's Gat. He's a hilarious, psychotic badass who can be super intense. I feel like every line he delivers is backed with power and emotion, even when he's being a smartass.
I'm curious if you can keep your cavalier attitude when 2,000 volts are running through your body.
Oh yeah? And I'm curious if you can keep acting like a douchebag when I shove that gavel up your ass.
I liked Gat in the previous game, but this is hands down my favorite version of the character.
Seriously, though. He's a good guy. Just don't piss him off.
We head to Aisha's house for a little reunion. Yeah, she makes a return as well. She's Gat's girl this time around, which is no surprise if you played Saints 1. Oh, you cute lovebirds. Okay, we need a base of operations. That isn't Aisha's house. Gat then takes us to our new potential headquarters, which is an old mission house. This place is one of many cribs in the game. The HQ upgrades over time, but the rest of them can be purchased and customized. I like the university loft the most because it's so cozy. The cribs have plenty of function and let you access vehicles, gear up, even replay missions, which is great for replayability. Haven't you always wanted to streak during the prison break? You can also get some rather unfitting dialogue.
What you think?
It's kind of a shithole.
Oh, come on. A stripper pole, some flat screens, maybe some nicer furniture.
You had me at stripper pole.
Fucking A.
Now that we've got a base, we need a crew, so we're off to recruit the founding members, who will be our lieutenants. We've got Carlos from prison. It's important to him that the Saints rise because his brother died fighting for the gang.
Listen, I tried everything I could. What was I supposed to do?
Carlos, I like you. I do. But you got a lot to learn about being a lieutenant.
There's Shondi. No, not the Shondi from Saints 3. I mean, it technically is, but it isn't, but it is. Kinda. Doesn't matter, because in this game, she's a laid-back stoner chick and serves as the brains of many operations. Basically, she's the fun girl you want to smoke a bowl with, or a light bulb.
Smoke this. Ever hear of a pipe? Pipes cost money. Money that can be used for drugs or shoes.
Finally, we have Pierce. Yep, actually, there's one more character to recruit. Our co-op partner. In true Saints Row fashion, the whole game can be played with a second player from the minute you start. Definitely the best way to play. So now we're ready to take back the city.
The Saints used to own Stillwater. I think it's time we give those other crews a wake-up call. It's our time now. Let's get this shit started.
At this point in the game, 3 storylines open up and we can go tackle them one at a time. Or hop around. Or you can just mess about in the open world for the next 30 hours instead of actually playing the story. Actually, you're going to have to do that. You see, missions require respect, which has to be earned from open world content. This might be a downside to some, but I've never had to worry about it because I like doing everything, and everything gives respect. Buying things from the million trillion stores to playing diversions, which are like free roam minigames, and there's a ton of them. Collectibles to full-fledged gambling inside of a casino. There's a lot to do in this world, and it's a big part of why Saints Row 2 is so much more replayable than later titles. My favorite are the jobs, which can be started anywhere. If you hop in a taxi, boom! Now you're playing the Saints take on Crazy Taxi. Get in a fire truck? You're a fighter. Get in a police car? Well, nothing happens for that one. But that's because being a cop is an activity called fuzz. Activities are a little more fleshed out than diversions, and Saints Row 2 has the most hilarious ones in the series. You see, while the game has a very serious story,
Does it look like I'm joking?
it gets to run wild and be over the top, as Felician loves to say,
The most over-the-top experience in gaming.
through its activities.
Try it without using your hands.
Shut the fuck up and keep licking my feet.
I'm going to jail!
My other favorites are Fight Club and Demolition Derby, but they're all worth playing. They even grant unique rewards. Activities will quickly build respect, so completing a few of them means we don't have to worry about any more story interruptions. Like Saints Row 1, we have 3 rival gangs to face, and a lieutenant is assigned to each. Shandi with the Sons of Samdi, Carlos with the Brotherhood, and Gat with the Ronin. Pierce.
Done.
I'll avoid spoilers despite this game's age because it's worth experiencing fresh.
Hey! Guys! Voldemort killed Harry! Harry comes back to life and kills Voldemort!
I usually start with the Sons of Samdi storyline, which is all about drug war, specifically the Loadust.
What is it?
It's the Sons of Samdi's #1 product. They call it Loa Dust.
But you smoke it.
They suck at marketing, what can I say? If we get enough of the stuff, we might find out how to make it ourselves.
And then we sell it for cheaper and steal their market.
Exactly.
Taking control of the drug market is our main goal here. We're introduced to the crew. There's the General, Mr. Sunshine, who is horribly creepy, and DJ Veteran Child, who is the radio host of Gen X. He's a bit of an asshole, but it kind of feels like he got in too deep with the wrong crowd. I definitely find the Samdi storyline the weakest of the 3, but the gang the most intimidating.
There are many singles where 50 should be.
Yeah, about that.
When you're in this car, you do well to remember your place.
My place?
My friends, please be civil. Veteran Child, if one of your bag boys is indeed alive, take one of his hands.
However, the best part about this storyline is Shandi, who is such a well-designed character. I love her bond with the boss, who is tough on her but clearly cares. And that's something special when it comes from a crazy mass-murdering psychopath.
How you feeling?
Comfortable. And very hungry.
You need help standing up?
No. I'm good here.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
You know, there could be some more guys looking for you.
You could take them, right?
Probably not.
That's good.
Fucking lightweights.
Next up, we've got the Brotherhood, who are total badasses. There's Marrow, the leader, Jessica, his girlfriend, and Matt, the guitarist of the Feed Dogs. Though he's not actually in the gang, but he's Marrow's boy, and he does all his tattoos for him. We learn that Marrow wants to divide Stillwater with us.
So what's the offer?
2080.
I'm assuming I get the 80.
Yeah, sure you do.
Do I even have to say it? Yeah, that's not gonna happen, so crushing them is mandatory.
You really expect me to take 20 and say thanks?
On your hands and fucking knees.
I suggest you shut the fuck up before
You're kidding me, right?
Hey man, be cool.
Also, Donnie makes a return from Saints 1. He's still a complete meatball who quickly proves to be selfish when it comes to him or his gang.
Lynn, I miss you.
That's sweet, Donnie. I missed you too.
Oh, shit.
You haven't seen me since your boss shot and stuffed me in the trunk of a car, and the best you can give me is those shit?
I really don't understand how this guy keeps getting involved with street gangs. He's clearly not cut out for that lifestyle. And as much as I like Carlos, I do wish he was a bigger part of the game because he's a character with so much more potential.
Carlos, don't worry. I'm gonna make a banger out of you if it kills me.
Still, things get pretty damn intense and we see how insane the boss actually is. Like, by the time you get to this storyline, just holy shit. Some of it's really hard to watch and you may question who you're even rooting for. I guess it's up to you if revenge therapy is satisfying or not. This storyline has some incredibly memorable cutscenes, and it feels so good to finally take them down. Thing is, I think it gets better with the Ronin, who are these samurai sword-wielding motherfuckers. We meet Junichi, who's about as interesting as Pierce, the leader Kazuo Akuji, and his son Shogo Akuji, a very arrogant kid that desperately seeks the approval of his father.
How about you let me deal with my father, and you deal with whatever the fuck I tell you to deal with?
Of course, Shogo.
Can you believe I managed to feel sorry for this asshole by the end of the storyline? So the Saints want to regain complete control of Stillwater, and of course, the Ronin are in the way. Needless to say, we gotta wipe them out.
The Ronin have a stake in Poseidon's palace, so I figure hitting their biggest money maker is a good way to show them we not fucking around.
Okay, so what's the plan?
You and I enter the casino here. Once inside, we need to distract this security guard. During the blackout, though...
Hold up, man. I mean, I love the dream house you built here and everything. But what if we just start here, walk into the casino, and just shoot all the motherfuckers that are between us and the money?
Well, you know...
It will be a lot faster.
And a lot more fun.
Yeah, but...
Fuck it. Let's go. Good call, Johnny.
Now this is my favorite storyline because of how well it flows. Who am I kidding? This is my favorite storyline because of Johnny motherfucking Gat. Unfortunately, he doesn't appear in the other storylines, which is maddening because I cannot get enough of him.
Who the hell is that?
Yo, that's our new house guest, baby. When's he coming?
I'll die before I tell you.
Yep.
Johnny!
It'll wash out.
It better. What the fuck's an Akuji?
If I'm not laughing at him, then it's because I'm terrified of him. And the boss, who is already a character I adore, becomes that much better with Gat around. Their interactions are just incredible as the two have such a great best friend dynamic.
You just gonna lie there while I do all the work?
That's not funny.
The SR2 boss and Gat are two of my favorite video game characters, especially when paired together. Heck, we even get to see Mr. Wong again. This storyline also becomes as intense as the Brotherhood's, maybe even more so. If you've played Saints Row 2, you know the scenes I'm talking about. You can really feel what Gat is experiencing, the boss just accepts it. Gat may be the boss's right-hand man, but the two work together like a partnership. When I think about the overall atmosphere of Saints Row 2's story, it's this storyline that comes to mind, these characters that come to mind, these missions that come to mind. Speaking of which, the missions are my favorite too, from the hospital to the funeral, the skydiving, the boats. It's all just so damn good, and the way this storyline ends is the most satisfying of the three. After we defeat the gangs, we go after Ultar, which is no longer just a clothing company, but a giant corporation filled with shady business practices. So it's like every big company. The main character we deal with here is Dane Vogel. Yeah, fuck that guy. We're actually on okay terms with him at an earlier point, but since Ultar wants to clear Stillwater of the Saints, do you really think they have a fate any different than the previous three gangs?
Pretty soon, all those nasty little gangbangers are gone. Crime stops, property value goes up, and now your population looks like this.
Now, there is a little more story in the game, most notably a fantastic hidden mission that serves as a conclusion to the events of Saints Row 1. Troy also makes some appearances throughout the game and is actually the reason we are kept on life support for so long, as mentioned in the intro.
Troy said he wouldn't pull the plug. Lord knows why.
Anyone call the chief?
I like Troy, so seeing him continue to help the Saints despite being a chief officer, yeah, I can respect that. The SR1 characters were wrapped up very well here, even if they weren't all the center focus. Well, most of them. I wish I could say the same for Dex. We do see him in a DLC, but it ends on a cliffhanger that never gets resolved throughout the entire series. And no, I'm not counting God Out of Hell as a real conclusion. It's a bit frustrating, but I don't blame SR2 as it's most likely the fault of SR3's change in direction. I realized while playing the game for this review that I was much more immersed while doing a complete playthrough with my own character. I get attached and sucked into this incredible world. I find myself properly parking my cars without realizing it. I'll be screaming during cutscenes in anger and excitement. And some scenes are just painful to watch. Like, this is my crew, my rivals, my city. I just get so into it. God, I love this game so much. I just beat it, and I kind of want to play it again already. Every time I play this game, I'm just so blown away by it. Saints Row 2 should be up there in the Hall of Fame alongside games like Final Fantasy VII. It's actually disappointing to hear so many people talk about Saints Row 3 without having played this one. It's like praising Pizza Hut when it's next door to this incredible local restaurant that you've never even stepped foot into. Seriously missing out. But SR2 will always be one of my favorites. The characters really stick with you after this game, and you can't forget these moments. It's such a joy to come back to and experience again. By the end of it, you truly are the leader of this huge and powerful gang that runs the entire city. It's chaotic and it's beautiful. And you know what? I believe that Saints Row 2 is the peak of video game development. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to create a superior game, but it hasn't been done. Everything in this game is perfectly pieced together. I seriously adore the detail put into it, and it's the reason Saints Row 2 is held up on a pedestal. It deserves it. And this is coming from someone who likes the entire series, not just the OGs. Yes, I even enjoyed going to hell, don't judge me. When you think of other Saints games, even if I like them a lot, I can still give you a huge list of their problems. With Saints Row 2, I got nothing. Minus the horrible PC port, but it's getting fixed eventually. Saints 2 might be one of the best games ever made, if not the. If you haven't played this game, then do yourself a favor and pick it up, at least when the PC patch comes out. I'd also suggest watching the cutscenes from Saints Row 1 first if you can't play it. SR2 is truly the ultimate open-world city sandbox game. This game and its story is one that I, as well as many of you, will replay periodically for the rest of our lives. Like, we're never going to stop loving it, we're never going to stop comparing newer games to it and being disappointed. It sets the bar too high. It's irreplaceable, and I know there's been a lot of controversy around the upcoming reboot. Volition can ignore the fans and they can hurt us, but they can't take back what we already have. Yeah, it sucks that we probably aren't going to get a game like this again, but damn it, we're never going to forget this one. So let's take a break from arguing about this reboot and appreciate where the Saints started, because to me, that's what the row is all about. Alright, that's it for me, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed this, as well as your thoughts on Saints Row 2. Is it one of your favorite games as well? Why or why not? With that said, I'll see you in the next one, and love y'all. Peace out.